Hi guys, welcome back to Creative Frenzy. Okay, today we are going to make vellum. I use that term very loosely, vellum-like flowers. And we're going to collage with it. We're going to make something springish because spring is hopefully just around the corner and, I can't wait for the snow to melt. So I wanted something a little bit livelier in my next art journal page, so I thought I'd experiment a little bit. So what I've done is I've made all these little flowers, as you can see here. And then I made a little Easter eggs and some little baskets to put them in. And then over here I have some die-cut shapes of different foliage and things like that, like branches and berries and all that. You don't have to use that. You can draw your own if you want, but I figure I have the dies, so I might as well use them, right? So what we're going to use today is some jelly print paper. If you so choose, you could use any paper you like. You could use some book page, you could use whatever you feel like doing. So anyway, this is what I'm using today. Let's see. I want to do something spring-like. So that's what I'm going to use for today. And then I am going to build on it. But first I want to show you how to do these flowers. So let's set this aside for a second. And what we're going to do is we're going to take out our, you guessed it, alcohol ink markers. I have three different types. I have Spectrum Noirs. I have these artist series that I get at the dollar store. And then these hobby color ones, which I got at Winners, I believe. Winners or Marshalls? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, so the hobby color ones are very, very light, which is perfect for this kind of project. Spectrum Noirs has a good selection of lighter colors, and you can do some darker colors too. And then the Artist Series, they have light and dark colors also. So I've used a selection of lighter colors, more spring type colors, or neutral if you like. You can do it either way you want to, but I thought I'd show you this one. So all I've done is basically just taken my alcohol ink markers, the cheapest paper that you could possibly find. I've used, we all get these little memo blocks. It's very thin paper, which is perfect for this kind of project. You don't want to use watercolors or cardstock for this, because this will lend itself to more of that that vellum type style paper. So vellum is just basically, see-through-ish, right? So you can see through it, and it has that quality of like onion skin almost. I don't know if it's some kind of process that they do with paper, but it's really cool, and I like the look of it, but it doesn't always, I don't always have it in stock. I used a lot of mine to stamp on, so I don't have any more vellum paper left over. So what I'm going to do is pretend. So what I've done is taken the cheapest possible paper. You can use copy paper if you want to. That's fine too. I have a piece left over so I can show you. And then if all else fails and you run out of supplies, use envelopes. All right? So that's what we're going to do. These are perfect for this kind of stuff because you're going to toss them anyway, so you might as well use them. Don't use the inside. If you want to use it for other things, that's fine, but I thought it'd be kind of cool for this kind of stuff because, well, we all have like junk lying around like that, right? And copy paper if you have it, and if you don't have any of those, then the cheapest paper possible, the thinnest paper you possibly have. Don't use actual vellum because it probably won't show up as nicely as this kind of thing would. We're just going for the vellum look, and that's about as close as we're gonna get. So what I've done is basically just drawn my very simple flower, and then you can use a gel pen over top. White is probably our best bet for this thing because it shows up the best for this kind of flower. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to use the chisel tip because it's there, and it will create a much faster flower. So all we're doing is drawing 5 petals, just loosely, okay? Let it dry momentarily. Then take your white gel pen, if you have it, or these ones I ordered off of AliExpress. If you have a good white highlight pen, it's probably your best bet. These ones I got at the dollar store. It's a slightly different look. It's not as finely detailed, but you could use these also. So it just has a thicker line, that's all. But all you want to do is draw your little flower, right? And then the little center. That's all you're going to do. Now I'll show you, let's see, let's do a Spectrum Noir. I never can tell which is the right way. It's on there, but it's very faint, and when you're in a hurry, it doesn't always work the way you want it to. So that's the thicker one. That's the one I got at the dollar store. It's the metallic marker. It's a very thick point, and that's kind of the reason why I don't like it 100% for this. But, you know, it'll do in a pinch. You can use your white gel pen if you have one that works. I had 3 of them, and only one of them works. So gel pens are notoriously finicky for working or not working. So gel pen does work, obviously. And then let's try the hobby color one. Oh, I got it on the first try. I like this color. And I might be going a little bit too big, but I kind of like it because then you can vary the sizes of your flower. And then this is the Touch 10. I got it from AliExpress. I have to order more, actually. Touch 10. There you go. So if you're looking for it, AliExpress has these. You can buy them like by the dozen or something like that. They're not overly expensive. But you just sort of keep sketching until you get the shape that you want. And I kind of like that loose, kind of not full line. So it's a repetition of a line. So it looks like more like brush strokes. Okay? And then you just cut them out. And bleed through is okay. I don't mind because sometimes that adds a little bit more interest. So then you cut them out and then you get these. What I like about it is they're very see-through, and they have that thin paper vellum quality to them. So they're a little bit more ethereal looking for all intents and purposes. So then what we're going to do is we're going to build a flower arrangement, spring flower arrangement, okay? So here's my jelly print paper, and I'm going to build my flower arrangement on this, all right? So let's see. You can see it that way? Okay, good. Now, I use a circle punch, a large one. It's a 2-inch punch. You can use a smaller one. You can use whatever size you fancy. You can draw your own. I have drawn like a little jar, and, well, first I colored the paper, same thing as I did with the flowers, and then I sort of sketched out my little container. And it has that, you know, that watercolor look, but we're not using watercolor, so it doesn't rumple the paper, rumple it or wrinkle it, right? So it has a nice smoothness to it. That's what I like about using the alcohol ink markers, okay? This one I cut out of jelly print paper. It was a nice gold paint that I used on that one, so I could use this one. Or these are just cut out of some packaging. My daughter had ordered some makeup, so this is from the Fenty Beauty packaging. This would make a great little container. I like it because it's hollow. It's really kind of cool. And this is from Nikki Tutorials, I believe. But her packaging has this hot pink color, which I really like too. So it depends if you want to go for a darker color or a lighter color. You know, it all depends. And then this is from some scrapbook paper from the Dollarama, yeah, dollar store. And I just cut a half circle from that. if you have whole circles, just cut a piece of it off, and then you can sort of play with dimension and how you want it to be. So, okay. But for this purpose, I'm going to use my gold one. But you can do it any which way you want. Now, you can have it like this and go right to the end of the page. Or what I usually tend to do is I cut a little bit off, and then it looks more like a container, and then I can just sort of, I can go on an angle, make it more dynamic looking, whatever you feel like. So let's go on an angle so that the container sits more on an angle. See how that instantly adds a little bit more dimension to it, right? A little bit more interest anyway. So we're going to glue that down. Now you could use a glue stick, you could use tape runner, you could use whatever you feel like. You could use decoupage, Mod Podge rather, whatever you want. I'm going to try the glue stick, see if it actually works. Sometimes because of the acrylic paint, it might not work. You can lay down other papers underneath this, you know, if you wanted to do true kind of mixed media collage kind of thing and do that. I don't know. I'm just going to play. I also have some Aleene's tacky glue just in a smaller container, so you know, if I'm using these ones, I can use it just to sort of dot it here and there kind of thing. I have tried making these flowers with just regular markers, you know, just the fine tip points at Crayola. The problem is when you use your gel pen over top, it changes the color of the gel pen. So it kind of defeats the purpose to have that white kind of chalky look to it. But, you know, it's entirely up to you what look you're going for. So it's just a question of building things up. So you could do it all one color, do very monochromatic, you know, just sort of boom, drop them down, and then sort of go from there if that's the look you want to go for. And sometimes, you know, that's all you want to do. That's okay. But I am just going to play around and see what I come up with. These glue down very nicely with just Mod Podge. I've done it in another, on another page. And I like it because I can see the background through it. I'll show it to you actually. I have my book right here. Oh, let's see. So here's my one page in my children's board book, but I like that you can still see the background. I don't know if you can tell, but it just, that's what gave me the idea of that vellum kind of look, you know, just using, and I like that it doesn't add bulk, but it adds a different kind of feel to the page. So I really enjoyed it, and that's how, you know, accidents you know, when you're just playing around and you find new things that you might want to try. So again, it's all about playtime, right? And happy little accidents. I kind of like the idea of to just sort of build, you know, just like when you do flower arranging and things like that. Now, I am not a flower arranger by any means, but you know, you can do like a little wreath style kind of thing, and then you just build on it, right? That's what I like about it. So I have never really played with this kind of form. Well, I've done a little bit of it in my December dailies. I just sort of happened upon it, you know, the whole branch and pot and things like that. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to do it deliberately in this way and see what we can come up with and just make a spring kind of layout. Because what I would like to do is do Christmas cards, oh, not Christmas cards, Easter cards. So see how this looks like a little wreath, just with the little branches, right? So like I said, you could do all one color. You can make it very colorful. You can do whatever you feel like doing. But the idea is to layer it up and come up with different looks, right? I also did some Easter eggs. I don't know if you can see them here. Let's get these out of the way for now. I did some Easter eggs the same way as I did the flowers, and then I decorated some of them with little dots or polka dots or stripes or whatever you feel like doing. You can make them as fancy as you want, or, you know, big, small, whatever. Some of these look like jelly beans, I am aware, but, you know, from a distance, to me, they look like Easter eggs. It's okay. We can do it either way. But then you can just sort of tuck them in kind of thing, right? That's what I kind of like about it. So this is representing Easter more than anything else. And it doesn't always have to make a whole lot of sense, as long as it makes sense to you. And it just sort of looks like it's tucked in there, even though I went over the edge of the basket. I use that term loosely, obviously, but, you know, you can just sort of play around with it, have it spill over top. Now, I did not do any leaves, which you absolutely could do, but I didn't do any, unfortunately. Doesn't mean I can't do some. Just tuck them in, make it look like it's overflowing. You can make your flowers in varying sizes, which is what I like about this. And then just sort of, you know, tuck one up there, kind of thing. I don't know what you were, but you gotta go. And then we could use some brighter flowers. This one I did on photocopy paper, so it's a little bit lighter in color, and also used a different marker. That's the word I'm looking for. So I kind of like playing with the variation of the same color, you know, so you can just sort of pick and choose what you feel like using. And you just tuck them away in there. So I kind of like the idea of just sort of building on it, right? Can you even see? Sorry about that. So you can, like I said, you can keep it monochromatic, or you can start adding color to it, right? So you can tuck one away like that. It doesn't all have to be, you know, in scale kind of thing. You can just sort of tuck things away where you like. Yeah, I kind of like that little bit of yellow. So you get the idea. And like I said, you know, you can vary your colors. You can do monochromatic. It doesn't matter. You can play around with it and place things as you go. And then you can just sort of, you know, tuck little things here and there. But I like how that kind of comes together. See? It looks cute. And it allows you to be a flower or a florist without actually touching flowers. So it's kind of nice to play around. And the beauty of this is you can do a whole page, like you could do several copy paper pages full of these flowers and eggs and whatnot else. And you don't have to have the branches. You can draw branches and on the paper and then go around. So you can do a wreath, you can do the basket yourself. You know, there's endless possibilities. You could put a fabric bow on there, you could do a paper bow, whatever you feel like doing. So these would make great little Easter cards. Mine is going to go in my art journal, but you can see how this would sort of, you know, I have these bright cards left over from my Michael's trip a couple of years ago, and I think they would make really cute little Easter cards, you know, stamp Happy Easter, Happy Spring, whatever you celebrate, you know. I thought it'd be cute to just sort of play around with alcohol ink markers. That's the word I'm looking for. So, yeah, I don't know. I think they're very, very cute. And again, you know, you can just sort of tuck things away. You can put it on the bottom, whatever you feel like doing. So I've got 3 different colors. You can do a whole, like a thing up at the top kind of thing, you know. Let's see. You know, you get to play. It's like a puzzle almost. You sort of play around. You can do a whole thing at the top or just in the corner, whatever you feel like doing. Obviously, that's not what I'm doing. Just playing around is fun too, right? And then you just put a little bow on there. You can ink the bow with, let's see. You could do red. I have a little bit of lavender left over, I think. Do I have any left over in there? You could do a fabric one too. Be cute. But that'd be kind of, it doesn't even show up. That's annoying. Let's see if this one will do any better. Oh, I got a little bit more left on that one. I just don't feel like taking out the ink pad. So it's kind of nice to play, right? Something like that. And we can just put that on there. And just keep it simple but effective. So that's cute. And now I'm going to put it in my, this one. Hold on. I still think we need something here though. Well, since we are on the subject of, you know, these, let's see what we can do. I'm going to do bright pink maybe. So you can go like that. Let's say you don't have stamps, or if you do, but we can do words like this. So we can do hello spring. Now if you don't like your own handwriting, this might not be for you, but it's, you know, sometimes nice to put your own handwriting in your projects. If you have a stamp, go for it. But not everything needs to be stamped. So we can just go like this. You could use your label maker if you wanted to, obviously. But we're going to do it this way for today. Now I've experimented with lots of different mediums with this project. I've tried watercolor markers, which don't hold up too well, unfortunately. But, you know, it's nice and light this way. That's what I like about alcohol ink markers. And I'm sure a lot of us have alcohol ink markers. Like these are the ones with the Spectrum Noirs and all that. And these are the ones that I did with Crayola Super Tips. Again, it's a different look. It's a look. It's not the look that I created, but it's, you know, if that's all you have available, just playing around and experimenting can be a lot of fun. So, you just sort of, you know, put that on there. And you can play around with it. If you have a bird stamp, that'd be cute on there. You could do a little butterfly. I tend to draw little butterflies sometimes. Let's see. Oh, that didn't glue all the way down. That's annoying. There we go. There. Okay, so you could draw a little butterfly. Let's see. I'm going to draw one. Oh, let's see, right here. Okay, so I tend to make the little body, just little dots, and then like that. And then like that. And then you can color it in, obviously. Let's see. I'm just going to use my Crayola Super Tips because I don't know, because there will be some smudging. You could use pencil crayon too. Whatever you feel like. That's cute. And if you're good at drawing, you could draw a little bunny, you could do whatever you feel like. But I think that actually looks pretty cute. I'm going to leave it at that. And then I might take just one of these colors and go around the edge. So when I go put it in my album or my journal that I usually create for, and it's okay if it goes over a bit, that's fine. I'm not worried. I kind of like that loosey kind of look to it. It adds a little bit more texture. Just run it right along the edge. It just creates a little bit more distinction between the edge of the paper. It gives it a painterly quality because alcohol inks will go over top of the acrylics. See? It's pretty cute. Now, let's say this background is not really singing for you. You can just come in and just make some marks, which I like to do on a lot of my journal pages. And just have some fun with it. Just fill in some of the dead space. Just choose a color that's monochromatic and just sort of blends in with the background, which is nice. No glitter required. Unless, of course, you like glitter, and then go for it. It's kind of nice to just sort of, you know, fill in that space. It adds a little bit more interest to the background. So I kind of like that. It's cute, right? So this is the one of my art journals. I have quite a few because I like to do lots of different things. And you get to play and experiment, which is half the fun of doing art journaling. So this is one of the ones that I do these jelly print pages separately, and then I have photographs in behind from a travel coffee book that I have of Atlantic, Canada. So I kind of like, oops, let's see if I can do it without knocking things off my table. So there we go. Okay, there, now you can see. So this is a page that I've done, and then here's another one, and then here is another one. Okay, so it's just for fun, just to experiment with different things. So now I'm going to try and find, so, ooh, that's kind of cute. It's got the gold in the background. See how that makes it a little bit more interesting with a mat like that? I kind of like that. Let's see. And it doesn't matter if it has something else in the picture. Ooh, that'd be pretty too. See how it just lends itself to something a little bit more surreal? I like that. Let's see. You could do a really dark background. Yeah. But you get to play with different things. Ooh, that's kind of cool too. You still see the grass and the sky. Ooh, that's kind of cool too. It's always the choosing that's the most difficult. Ooh, see that little bit of yellow right there, and then all the yellow in the background. It's a little busy, a little crazy, That's kind of cute too. I don't know. That might be a little bit too on the nose. That's very yellow. That's not going to work for me. Too fall. How about this one? It's not bad. See, and you could spend ages doing something like this because you have all these papers in there, and you can just sort of play around, you know, see what suits. I don't know. I still like this one, and I like the other one. Yeah, the boat. I think it's between this one because of the gold and then the boat. I think this one. Yep, I've decided. And I don't feel like messing around with a glue stick, so I'm just going to use my glue tape runner or whatever. You can use double-sided tape too, whatever you feel like. And then just sort of eyeball it and plunk it down. There. Yet another page done. So, there's my Easter, spring, whatever you feel like calling it. This is a good way to do little samples for yourself. So if you wanted to do, instead of, you know, creating a card or whatever, you can sort of play with different types of formations. You know, different, not even formations. You can do patterns. You can do whatever you feel like. But the idea is to play around, see what suits you. You know, it's not a huge expenditure because you're just using paper and you're trying different things. And this is a, you know, let's call it an idea journal rather, just for funsies. And we can do it that way. So yeah, again, you know, little flowers, make them out of cheap paper, junk journal paper, or, you know, copy paper, whatever you feel like doing, and just having fun with it and seeing what you come up with. You know, faux flower arranging, it can be a lot of fun. So I hope you liked the video, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Bye.